Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel TC Jubin Simple Learning. So in today's Simple Learning, we are going to discuss about Tourette syndrome and tics. Have you heard about Tourette syndrome? No? Okay. Have you seen a movie, one of the Hindi movie that is Hichki, starring Rani Mukherjee? If yes, then you have an idea about Tourette syndrome. Okay, in that movie you can see she suffered from Tourette syndrome and she is having some motor tics as well as some vocal tics. Okay, so today we'll discuss about Tourette syndrome and some of the tics. So let's start. The essential features of Tourette disorder is the presence of multiple motor tics and one or more vocal tics. In Tourette disorder, there will be motor tics as well as vocal tics. So there will be multiple motor tics and one or more vocal tics. So do you know what is this tics? A tic is nothing but a sudden, rapid, recurrent, non-rhythmic, stereotype motor movement or vocalization. Here I have mentioned movement or vocalization. If it is related to movement, then it is known as motor tics. And if it is related to voice or sound, then it is known as vocal tics. Okay. Let's see the characteristics. This is the characteristics of Tourette syndrome. They may appear simultaneously or at different periods during illness. This motor tics and vocal tics, it can appear simultaneously or at different periods. Can interfere with social, occupational or other areas of functioning. So in a child, it will affect most of the areas of functioning. Its onset is before age 18 year and most prominent year is 6 to 7 year, and it is more common in boys than in girls. And one more thing is that the symptoms of this Tourette syndrome, it usually disappear during adolescence and adulthood, and in some cases it disappear altogether by early adulthood. So let's see what are the predisposing factors. So there are some biological factors, like first is genetic factor. So in genetic factor, if the parents, it means it can be caused due to heredity. If the parents is having tic problem or Tourette disorder, or if the person is like in case of monozygotic twins or dizygotic twins, or sometime in case of if the person's relatives are having this tic problem, then there are chances. So that is the genetic cause. Next, second cause is biochemical factors. So there are many biochemicals in our brain. So due to the alteration in the level of these biochemicals like dopamine, serotonin, dynorphin, GABA, acetylcholine, norepinephrine. So alteration in these chemicals may lead to Tourette syndrome. Okay. Next is structural factor. What is this structural factor? Structural factor means structure of brain. So due to some dysfunction in the areas of brain, it can cause Tourette syndrome, like in the areas of basal ganglia, or sometimes it is seen that smaller size of corpus callosum is seen in Tourette syndrome. Okay. Next are the environmental factors. Now that was genetic factor. Now this is non-genetic. This is related to environment. What are the environment factor? First environment factor is complication during pregnancy. Like if the mother is having severe nausea, vomiting or excessive stress, then low birth weight, then head trauma, then carbon monoxide poisoning, encephalitis. So these are the environmental factors which is related to Tourette syndrome. Okay. Next is symptomology. So what are the symptoms of Tourette syndrome? As I said to you before, that it consists of motor tics and vocal tics. Okay, so some simple motor tics are there, some complex motor tics are there, some simple vocal tics are there, and some complex vocal tics are there. So let's see what are they. Motor tics, it mainly involves head, torso, and the upper and the lower limbs. Torso means trunk. Okay, so it consists of simple motor tics and complex motor tics. What are they? Simple motor tics include eye blinking. You may have seen many people with tics, like facial tics, they do eye blinking, neck jerking, shoulder shrugging, facial grimacing, coughing. Now let's see complex motor tics. What are these complex motor tics? So these are complex motor tics, like touching any body part, squatting position, hopping means jumping, skipping, like doing skipping type, deep knee bend, retracting steps, twirling when walking. Then echokinesis means repetition of observed act. Coprofrexia means doing opposites act. So these are the complex motor tics. Next we'll see simple vocal tics. What are they? Like clinks, grunts, this is all sounds. Okay, yelp means sometime a short sharp cry, that is yelp. Bark like dog. Sniff, like smelling like sound. Snorting also sound made with nose, like sudden forcing of breath through nose. Then coughing sound, then uttering obscene words. Okay, in 10% cases means simply they have no control of that, they will utter that obscene word. Okay, this all takes, they have no control, they can't control this. Okay, they know that they are doing this, but they can't control this all thing. Even in motor tics, they are touching their body, or they are squatting again and again, they are squatting. So they are doing that, but they have no control over that, because they are due to this biochemical changes, they are doing that thing. Okay, complex vocal tics like palilalia means repeating one's own sound or words. Echolalia means repeating the others word, what the others people are saying, they will repeat that. Coprolalia means repeating or speaking some obscene words. Mental coprolalia means thinking of obscene words. Okay, so these are the some of the tics that included simple motor tics, complex motor tics, simple vocal tics, and complex vocal tics. So you can see in these patients, these all tics are, as I said, it is just that they can't control. So it is like they feel it is very compulsive, they can't control, if just they think and they do. Okay, so it feel like compulsive, irresistible, they are not able to change that. Suppressed for varying length, for some time period it can be suppressed, but again it will appear. Exaggerated by stress, whenever the person is stressed, the tics or the rate of tic will increase. And mainly you can see whenever these people are sleeping, the tic is the minimum. Okay, so what are the diagnostic criteria? So here we have some diagnostic criteria according to DSM-4. So what are the diagnostic criteria? First is both multiple motor and one or more vocal tics have been persistent at some time during the illness, although not necessarily concurrently. At least both the motor tics and vocal tics, it should be persistent, or it should be present for some time during the illness. So then this is the first way to diagnose the Tourette syndrome. Second diagnostic criteria is that tics occurs many times a day, usually in bouts, nearly every day or intermittently throughout a period of more than 1 year. Okay, see here I have written in red letter, that is 1 year, means it should appear, or the person should suffer with the tics for at least 1 year, and during this period there was never a tick free period of more than 3 consecutive months. Okay, means last 3 months he had suffered that tics. Next criteria is the disturbance cause marked distress and significant impairment in social, occupational and other important areas of functioning. At this tics, it will disturb all these areas. And next is the onset is before age 18 years. So here the criteria also include the onset should be before 18 year. And next last is the disturbance is not due to direct physiological effect of substance, means these all disturbance, what I said, social, occupational or other important areas of functioning, these disturbance, it should not be due to any substance use or any drug abuse or any medical condition. Okay, here example is given. So these are the criteria. So you must remember that this 1 year and 3 consecutive months means in order to diagnose the tic or Tourette syndrome, the person should suffer with this motor tics and vocal tics for at least 1 year. Okay, then only we can diagnose that he is having Tourette syndrome, and it should be present for more than 3 consecutive months. Okay, so this is regarding diagnostic criteria. Next, let's see treatment. What are the treatments of Tourette syndrome? So treatment is psychopharmacological treatment, like we can administer haloperidol. It is a drug of choice for Tourette disorder, and its dosage is 0.05 to 0.075 mg per kg per day in 2 to 3 divided doses. Okay, while giving all this drug, you should consider the side effect of the drug. You should monitor for the side effect of the drug. Next, second drug is Pimozid. Okay, Pimozid, it is a neuroleptic drug and it is used in the management of severe motor and vocal tics. Okay, but Pimozid is not recommended for children younger than 12 years. Its dosage is 1 to 2 mg per day and increased weekly up to 3 to 5 mg per day. Okay, next drug is Clonidine. Clonidine is an alpha adrenergic agonist. Actually, it is used for antihypertensive agent, but some of the doctor prescribe Clonidine. This is the drug of choice for Tourette disorder, and because it has few side effects, so some of the physician prescribe this Clonidine. It has side effects like dry mouth, sedation, dizziness, hypotension. And next is atypical antipsychotic. Here atypical antipsychotics are more prescribed because they have less side effect as compared to typical antipsychotics. Typical antipsychotics like haloperidol and Pimozid, so they have more side effect. So if you are giving typical antipsychotic, you have to look for the side effect, monitor for the side effect. And atypical antipsychotic, its example is risperidone. So these are the psychopharmacological management. Next is psychosocial therapies. Along with this psychopharmacological management, it is necessary that you should give psychosocial therapies like behavior therapy, individual therapy, counseling, psychotherapy and family therapy. Okay. Next treatment is CBIT. CBIT means Comprehensive Behavioral Intervention for tics. In that it include relaxation training, habit reversal training, and behavioral therapy. Everything will be included. It means recently the doctors are doing this comprehensive, psychiatrists are doing this comprehensive behavioral intervention for tics. Okay, then if these drugs and this therapies they are not effective, then the patient is prescribed for botulinum toxin or deep brain stimulation. Okay, so this is regarding treatment. Next is nursing diagnosis. What are the nursing diagnoses? As you can see, there are so many difficulties in various areas like social, occupational. So we have here nursing diagnosis. Risk for self-directed or other directed violence related to low tolerance to frustration. These people are very less tolerant to frustration. So there are risk of direct or indirect violence. Then impaired social interaction related to impulsiveness, oppositional and aggressive behavior. Next nursing diagnosis is low self-esteem related to shame associated with the behavior. So this is regarding nursing diagnosis. Please try to find out the intervention and write intervention as well. So hope you understood about Tourette syndrome and tic disorder, and if you have not watched that movie, please watch that movie and subscribe my channel so that you will get more information regarding more disorders. Thank you for watching.